Hey, Liberty North AP side, good morning. It is May the 4th, so may the 4th be with you. Have a couple special guests today for the covering of psychology, so ignore the National Treasure poster in the back. Today's all about Star Wars. So we have a couple special guests. They're going to be with us as we talk and continue on in our psych disorder chart. Also, wow, last full week, seniors. What a second semester this has turned out to be of your senior year. So I hope as you enter this last week that you can enjoy it. I know things aren't what we were hoping and what we'd like, but I just hope that you kind of reminisce and enjoy your last year or your last full week of public education as far as K through 12. Yeah, congratulations and enjoy it. Also, do not forget, though, today is May the 4th, so celebrate all things Star Wars. The last episode of the Clone Wars is airing today, which is pretty cool. And then also your Chapter 18 lab and all that, that assignment was due. And then basically, again, just a reminder, all you have left was 16 and 17, so that will include your final and so on and so forth. So make sure you check Canvas. If you have any questions, email me. I had 50 some odd emails this morning to work through. So hopefully, and if I forgot, I meant to wish everybody May the 4th when I responded to your emails. So hopefully that got through. So if you want to get out your disorder chart, we are going to go through number 14 and 15. Okay. Which are right here. Get a little bit closer here. Okay. So 14 and 15, again, we'll finish up tomorrow with 16 and 17. So you should have 17 disorders in your chart. All right, and today we're actually going to do eating disorders, or what are called feeding and eating disorders. And this is AP Learning Target number 9. Okay, so your 2 for today, down there, 14 and 15, are anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa. And then both of them are eating and feeding disorders in our AP Learning Target number 9. Okay. Now, one interesting fact here at the beginning is that you have to include the nervosa. That is actually the technical name of the eating disorders. A lot of people just use the term anorexia, which actually is different. Anorexia means and can be a part of many other disorders. And what it means is basically you just have a severely impacted appetite. And that could be caused by medication or with anxiety and depression. You can have anorexia with that, meaning that you just don't feel like eating. You're not motivated to eat. You aren't eating. I think that's found in both of those disorders. So you got to make sure that you have the nervosa part of it. That indicates that it's abnormal, that it is a disorder, and not just the byproduct or a side effect of, another disorder or a condition or so on and so forth. Okay. So probably a lot of you have had issues in life where probably your appetite has been impacted, in which you're not hungry, you're not eating. And if that stays there for a long period of time, then that could basically be anorexia. Okay. Anorexia nervosa is the actual name for the disorder, as well as bulimia nervosa. There also is another one in this category, which is called the binge eating disorder, but these are the 2 that we're going to focus on to represent for this disorder. Okay. All right. So we'll go to anorexia first. All right. Which is eating, feeding disorder, AP Learning Chart number 9. Okay. Now, what this is characterized by or symptomatic by is the fact that I have a distorted body image. Okay. So I don't know if anybody's seen the pictures in books or magazines where you have an anorexic patient looking in the mirror and they see somebody that's not them. Okay. Now, this is not psychosis. All right. But they just have a distorted image of themselves. Okay. Now, it's based in reality, but at the same time, it is distorted. Okay. They have excessive dieting, exercise, abnormal control of weight is kind of what they're after. So they will go through abnormal means, excessive means, sometimes outlandish means to control their weight, okay, and their image. Okay, now the big thing that the DSM-5 added to really differentiate between the two, because actually, if you don't know, they're actually very, very common, is the body mass index. Okay, so to be diagnosed with anorexia nervosa, you have to have everything that we just mentioned. So the distorted body image, excessive diet, exercise, abnormal control of weight. But my BMI has to be low. Okay, it has to be lower than average or normal. Okay, so I can have all these things, but if my BMI is not massively below normal, then I'm not going to be diagnosed with anorexia nervosa. And we'll talk about why that's there when we get to bulimia, because they are closer than what you think. Okay. Now these are environmental. Well, I'm going to stick with this right now. There is evidence. I know there is research. They're looking at genetic factors. They're looking at biological causes. But the fact remains is that most of the data, most of the science and the research is showing that it's more environmental. It's about control. Also, we have the fact that not every culture, not every society, not every country has eating disorders. In some cultures, they don't even exist. Some countries, they don't even exist. So, that's a huge cultural impact, a huge environmental factor. So we're going to stay there. I know there are people that are actually looking for biological and genetic causes for the disorders. That's biased research. However, if they find it and they can prove it, then that's great. But, we have people that have that bias, that overconfidence, okay, that they're looking for those. I don't think that they found anything for sure. But fact remains that also when I treat these, it's very environmental. If I can just remove the environmental factor, then I can get the person on. Now, if you also notice, moving on and healthy, but if you also notice, generally there's eating disorder treatment facilities, and they are pretty much behavioristic. They just use token economies, conditioning, and then that actually cures the patient. I got a question here, Emma. What does it say right after low BMI in the symptoms? I think extreme abnormal control of weight. Is that what you're looking for, Emma? So right after the low BMI, extreme abnormal control of weight. Okay. So, and then we're also going to say neurotic here. Okay. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and show you all of anorexia nervosa again, number 14. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. So it is eating and feeding disorder, and that it is characterized by a distorted body image, excessive diet or exercise, abnormal control of weight, extreme and abnormal control of weight, and they have a significantly low BMI. Okay. So they will look generally very thin. Okay, that's that low BMI. Okay. All right. And the second one, which probably most of you heard, is bulimia, but again, it's bulimia nervosa. Okay. Bulimia refers to actually the purging process, which actually can be found in anorexia. So that's where it kind of gets kind of confusing. Now, an anorexic will not binge. Okay. They won't do that, but they will purge as part of that excessive diet and exercise part. Okay. So anorexia nervosa can include the purging part of it, which is why it gets really confusing, and why the DSM-5 added the BMI component, because that's really what you're going to look at immediately to differentiate between the two if you know there's an eating disorder. So bulimia nervosa, eating feeding disorder, AP learning target number 9, binging, which basically means they will consume a lot of food, okay, an impulsive kind of really quick, just eat, kind of stuff myself, and then they're going to purge the food, okay? However, a bulimia nervosa patient has a very high or normal BMI. So they don't look like they need to eat like the anorexia. Oh, wow. It's my phone ringing. I didn't even plan that. Probably a good idea to have the Star Wars theme playing in the background on May the 4th. But with the bulimic patients, sometimes you look at them, they look healthy. They look like they have an average BMI or it's higher, okay? Because they're not binging and purging because of a distorted body image. It's just more about the control. Generally, there's things that are out of their control. And this is something that they can control, okay? So that's really kind of where you want to see the differences there. Again, this one is environmental. And it is neurotic at the base. No psychosis here. Again, the neurosis is about feeling out of control. And so they look for things to have excessive control of in their lives. And so they develop this pattern of trying to control their image or their weight, which is where we get into problems. Okay. And this is a coping mechanism of something else generally going on in their life, creating crisis, creating issues. Okay. All right. So binge, purge, and then they have a normal or higher than normal BMI. Okay. All right. And this is the distorted body image. Okay. So environmental factors again, and neurotic. Okay. So again, the main treatment is basically facilities that specialize in eating disorders. And they're kind of like addiction facilities, not in their patients, but this can kind of be an addictive behavior, but they're going to be extremely behavioral. So basically what you're going to do is you're just going to treat the environment, and there is some cognitive therapy as well. But, once I get them out of this bad type of coping method and really dealing with what it is they really need to deal with, then this type of behavior can go away. Okay. So again, it's kind of, I don't want to say, I don't know this for sure, but I think Western cultures and Western societies are actually where these categories have originated. Like I said, they're not in all cultures, they're not in all societies. But I really think that it's become a westernized culture, and also cultures that emphasize a ideal image that is less than ideal or normal. So again, in our Western cultures, our ideal body image is more thin than other cultures. And so that promotes these types of disorders as well. Okay. So let me get bulimia. Make sure you have the nervosa. Okay. Eating and feeding disorders. Binge, purging. And then again, they have the average or above average BMI. It is environmental, and they are neurotic. Okay. And then don't forget, may the force be with you. Okay. All right. So those are our eating disorders. And then I didn't put a video on for these, but if you just Google eating disorders, there's a lot of actually facilities put videos in. There's a lot of testimonials from mainly females, women again. And I think I tried to look up the exact stat. It does change. Obviously, these are found much more pervasive in women than men, but you can find men that have these cases. And I'm going to guess it's 90%, 10%. I know that's what I was taught, and that's what I had heard when I was older. But I looked for updated, and I couldn't really find it. So, that's just a part of it. Okay. All right. But again, you do not have to be just female to get an eating disorder. You can be male as well. It's just not as common. Okay. All right. So, happy Monday, May the 4th. And then basically just check Canvas, the last assignments of the entire semester for seniors for sure. Juniors, we'll have one more additional assignment, which is kind of fun and interesting once the seniors leave on May the 12th. So, but everything's there. So you need your chart. Okay, so we're about to finish this chart. We'll finish it tomorrow with our developmental, our neurodevelopment and neurocognitive disorders. And then we'll move into our treatment disorders chart, which will take 2 days. So that'll be Wednesday, Thursday, and then we'll be done. Okay. And then basically everything is due on the 12th, which is a week from tomorrow. Okay. For your chapter 16 and 17. Okay. All right. Any questions for C3PO and R2D2? I got to show you one of my awesome Star Wars things. Actually, we have a lot in the house, but this is This is a very historical old. It's a collector's item. So it's one of the original. It's from the original 3, but it's the all I need to know about life I learned from Star Wars, and it has a whole bunch of quotes down here from the movie. So pretty cool. Oh, and then I've got my favorite thing. It's not like a collector's item, but then we have the famous Darth Vader toaster. So if you look at the top, it's a toaster. So that's pretty cool, because then when you put your bread in there and the toast pops out, it has Star Wars burned on the bread or on the toast. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, so our family is celebrating today. We always do. So from C3PO and R2D2, this is Mr. Davis. Happy May the 4th. Do we have any, oh, then lightsaber sound effects even. I'm just getting it all in today. Any questions on anything? Are we good? Got it? Okay, so again, just leave space for 2 more. And again, however many pages, just send it to me. Also, I've had a lot of questions about the AP notebook, and just keep those coming. If you have questions about how to turn it in the best way, just email me and we'll work that out. But yeah, don't forget that. That's a big part that's due by May the 12th, okay? All right, you guys have a great day. Enjoy the last week, seniors. All right, and congratulations. Not a little bit early, but hang in there and enjoy that last week. Reminiscing a lot. All right, see you.